brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Rachel Cruze, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, host of The Rachel Cruze Show, co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour, and my daughter is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Lisa is in New York. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. What an honor, and I can't even believe I got through. I will make it quick. I am a divorced, now single woman, was in a relationship with a man for 7 years. He needed to borrow money. I know how you feel about that, but I did it anyway because I thought we were going for the long haul. $200,000 later, he lost all the money. He was doing some crypto something, lost all the money. He has since ended the relationship, so now I am out $200,000, which was basically the majority of what I had. I gave the money with my heart, so I can say I'm leaving it in God's hands. If I get the money back, he is making monthly payments, but he's basically just paying me back the interest at this point. But with the money that I do have left to my name, I'm 55 years old, and I approximately have $95,000 left to my name. I would like to know, how can I make that money work better for me so that I'm not working forever and ever and ever, which I may have to be, but I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing with what I have left.
Wow. That's a sad story of how we got here.
It is. And I really thought that I was going to be going the long haul. I still love him. I'm still in contact with him, obviously. He has his own financial problems, obviously.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
you kind of got that part figured out, I hope. Yeah.
One.
All right. The good news
Yes,
is he's in the rearview mirror. The bad news is we're $200,000 poorer. The other news is this. Let's just pretend that none of that happened.
Okay.
And you were sitting here and you just called me and said, I'm 55. I got 95,000. Am I going to be okay? Answer is, yeah, if you get on a budget, you stay out of debt, you invest in your 401k and plan on working for the next 10, 12 years.
Absolutely. 100%.
You're going to be okay.
Right now.
But the 95 is not going to make you okay, Lisa. Your work, what do you earn?
I between $56,000 and $60,000 a year. I'm a server in a high-end restaurant. So some days it's great and some days it's bad. It's not a consistent paycheck, but I do love my job.
Do they have 401k available to this?
They do, but they don't recommend doing it through our company because they don't match. So I don't. I save my own money. I'm not a spender. I'm very, very reasonable with myself. I own my own car. I have zero debt.
Good. Okay, so really what you've got to do is you've got to fund a Roth IRA, and you need to be saving.
Roth IRA.
Are you out of debt completely?
No debt, zero debt.
Okay, good. Do you have an emergency fund of any kind, 3 to 6 months of expenses?
Well, that's my, $100,000 that I have left.
Okay, that's not an emergency fund.
Where is that money, Lisa, right now? That 95?
Right now, I have $90,000 in a high yield savings account, which I was making about $600 a month in interest with all the money that I had, but now I'm down to like $130 a month in interest, which is hideous. And then $14,000 I have in a stock from my ex-husband's work that I just leave. I don't even look at it, and it grows a little bit and does what it does, and I'm just leaving it there.
Okay, here's what I want you to do.
And I keep
Here's what I want you to do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want you to go to RamseySolutions.com and click on SmartVestor Pro and find one in your area that can sit down with you and design your investment plan. Your investment plan needs to sound like this. Of the $90,000, 3 to 6 months of expenses, which is $15,000 for you, needs to go in a high yield savings. The rest of this, including cashing out that stupid stock, needs to go in good growth stock mutual funds, and some of it needs to go into a Roth IRA and growth stock mutual funds. Okay. And you need to do a Roth IRA every year, and you probably need to be doing some in this 401k, even though they don't match, because I need you to start investing 15% of your $65,000 or $70,000 a year, and the Roth IRA won't quite get you there.
Okay.
And if you start investing that, you're going to be investing $10,000, $12,000 a year in good mutual funds in a retirement account. In 10 years, you're going to have some money.
Okay, so who am I calling?
SmartVestor Pros. There's a list of them at RamseySolutions.com, and it's the people we recommend in the investment world. You can look at them. They'll sit down with you and have the heart of a teacher. I want you to understand what you're doing. That's why we require them to have the heart of a teacher. But basically, we're going to put all this money in good mutual funds, most of it in Roth IRAs where we can, and maybe some in a 401k. And you're going to systematically start rebuilding your wealth by steadily investing over the next 10 to 12 years.
Okay.
And you'll end up further along than you were before you met Crypto Bro, who screwed you over. Wow. And don't do that again, by the way.
I think she learned her lesson.
I hope so.
I don't think she
I
wants
hope so.
to.
The next time someone comes along and pulls at your heart, tell them to take a walk when it comes to your wallet.
I know. And that's where people get in trouble, though, because, I mean, she said it, and it's true. It's like you're in a relationship for years and years and years and years, and you never get married, and it's as much liability.
No, they got a divorce.
No, I think she had an ex-husband. I think this was the guy she was dating.
Oh, you know
or that's
what?
how I understood it.
You might be right.
I think that's what, I don't think they were ever married.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, because she said, I thought we were going the long haul. I think I could be, I could, either way, Lisa.
So he dated you so he could fund his crypto.
Not because of, I don't believe that, Lisa. No, I think he dated you because he loved you.
Yeah.
And then
Except for that
she
part
had
where
money that he could use, and he believed the crypto thing. That's the thing, is it's the quick cash. It's the Vegas of today. It's like, hey, here's the smart investing. Here's the shortcut.
If
crypto.
only it was only as risky as Vegas. That would be nice.
More risky is what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely more risky than Vegas. This is like a sure thing you're going to lose it.
I know.
Yeah. It's just, I mean.
Yeah, and Lisa, in the single stock, because she was like, I just want to leave that.
No.
And so I know, but explaining and understanding that puts you at a level of risk, because if that company for some reason has a downturn, then that 14,000 is going down, and you can earn so much more from a diversification standpoint, but also from the interest rate. You can earn more diversifying and putting that money in mutual funds, Lisa. So when we were talking about the single stock, and that's what the SmartVestor Pro is going to be able to help you to
They can guide you through that and teach you all of that. And so, we've just got to get the majority of that $90,000, $95,000 to work for you. It's not working. $130, like you said, is horrendous. And you said that properly. But guard your heart, kiddo. You don't get a second one of these. You've done your one. You don't get another one.
Would you have him still pay her? She said he's kind of just still paying me. Would you just let that?
Yeah, I would love him for her to pay her, but my expectation of this is close to zero. I mean, Crypto Bro's going to pay his debt? Come on. Really? I doubt it. Scott is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, Scott, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks so much. How you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my wife and I we moved to Charlotte a few months ago in hopes of trying to find a house, and just with mortgage interest rates, we've kind of been priced out of the market around here. And my mom offered me the option to be gifted her house with the caveat that the house is in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And my wife and I are trying to we're trying to figure out, we don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, and we kind of want an objective opinion on, we're trying to balance safety and concerns with where we want to live versus being gifted a house. And we thought, and I respect both you and Rachel a lot, just on money principles and in a lot of other aspects. So getting just an outside perspective would be awesome.
I don't think you want to live in Minneapolis the way you framed this sentence.
Well, I moved out of the Twin Cities in 2020 for kind of obvious reasons. And no, we don't want to live in Minneapolis.
Then don't.
But at the same,
but you feel like it's crazy to pass up a house.
It's crazy.
Is what you feel like it?
Essentially a house that we'd be so close to family. I have 2 little kids, a 2-year-old, and my daughter is going to be born in August. It'd be close to family. It'd be close to everything. Part of the deal is my mom. It's a 5-bedroom house, split level. My mom would get a room in the basement. We'd kind of take care of her until she passes. She'd get the rest of her life with her grandkids, and we'd get a house for half the mortgage, because I'd have to buy my brother out, because that would be the inheritance. But I'd get the ability to raise my family.
What do you make a year?
I make 125.
Okay, all right. Well, I if I were in your shoes, I would not go. For the same reasons that you left are the reasons you don't want to return, and you're creating a family situation that's unusual and potentially strained with a permanent lockdown. You don't have a choice. Once you get into this, you can't get out of it. So 10 years from now, you can't do anything with it. You're screwed until she dies. And here's another idea. If you want her to live in your basement and your wife wants her to live in her basement, tell her to sell her house in Minneapolis and come buy a house in North Carolina.
I thought about that. The problem is, because my brother and his family lives in Minnesota, it's hard for her to. It would be impossible, really, for her to do that. It's been her home too, so it's the childhood home. I hear what you're saying.
I know, but I mean, it's the same.
Scott, would y'all move there because the pros were there's family and all of that? Would you move there if you weren't given this deal? Would you guys look for houses in Minneapolis in that area?
They already left.
Well, no, I'm asking. It's a hypothetical question.
Minneapolis would not be our choice.
Okay, again, so that helps the answer. I need Scott to answer.
Well, we know that because you left. Yeah, okay. So
but he's talking about going back. So my thing was, if the deal wasn't there, is there any part of Scott that would want to go back at all?
You're a good son, and your mom misses her grandkids, and it tugs at your heart, and that means you're a good guy. But it's a bad idea.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Can I just say too? I really appreciate. I started Baby Step 2 in 2018 with $220,000 in student loan debt, and in 3 years, 4 months, and 21 days, I became debt free. And
wow.
It was all due to your teaching. So, I know I'm honored to speak with you, Dave. So thank you
too. How much do you have saved for a down payment?
We have about $70,000 saved.
Okay. Go 20 miles further out of Charlotte than you've been looking, and it's going to start to feel like the boonies, because it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and you'll find a real estate deal.
Okay.
Charlotte's a good market, but it's like any typical good, solid, mid-sized city. Charlotte and Nashville are very similar, except Nashville's outgrown it lately. But the further you get from downtown, the cheaper the prices are. It's like if you drop a pebble in the middle and the rings that go out, that's an urban growth theory. As the rings go out away from the city, it gets cheaper unless you run into a mountain or a lake, and then it goes up because of those things. But other than that, it's going to get cheaper the further out of downtown you get, and you'll find something there. You've just been looking in a neighborhood you can't afford. And you make $120,000, you have $70,000 down, honey, you can buy a house in Charlotte. And it's not the interest rates that are keeping you from doing it. It's just the whole shift in your whole life. And things shifted on you in the economy while you were making these moves around. And so you're still reeling a little bit from all these moves and all you left your home in a violent COVID rioting situation, which is why you left. And two things really going on there bad in the Twin Cities at that time in 2020. And a lot of people left there at that time. And you're looking for freedom, and you're looking for safety and security for your kids. And then while you did that, everybody came out of their caves after COVID like a Baptist looking for a casserole and buying houses left and right. And they ran the dadgum prices through the roof. And then interest rates bumped on top of that. And it's kind of giving everybody a little bit of deer in the headlights.
For sure, and has been for a while. But I think what's hard is his dilemma. What I was hearing him say is, Are we crazy to pass up this crazy financial opportunity? You know,
you're not crazy.
And so that's the thing, is that when people get presented, they feel like, oh my gosh, I need to shift my whole life. My gut check is like this.
Everything around that.
Yeah, because it's such a huge deal. Because to your point, the housing market can feel so impossible. So someone like kind of gives you what feels like a get out of jail free card, and you're like, is that crazy that I'm not taking that card? But the way he phrased it is what you were saying too earlier, is that he didn't really want to go, right? Like, I mean, like, you're just doing it because you feel like there's like this asset out there, and I'm crazy if I pass it up. And it wasn't a free and clear house either. I mean, the ties to family with your mom living there.
A lot of strings.
And we hear this a lot, even with family members that have like a plot of land. We got this call a few weeks ago, and everyone wants to build on it, and everyone chip in.
The old family compound nightmare.
Yeah, but what's hard is like you're stuck there, because if you want to move, your family don't want to live, you know, with some stranger in the house, you know. So like, I mean, you get put in these permanent situations because other people build their lives around your decisions, and that's
what you discover is there are no forever homes other than heaven. And so locking yourself into something forever, you're going to set yourself up for getting your head taken off. And, you know, there are some daughters-in-law want their mother-in-law in the basement, but not many.
As the audience is laughing.
Well, I mean, you can love them, but they're easier to love from a distance. I mean, it's just, you need a little boundary here. It's nothing. It's not a lot. It doesn't mean you don't like them. Doesn't mean you don't love them. That's not the point. But yeah, so
sharing
that's a really good
real
question. And the beautiful part about that question is just his sweetheart. He just he loves his mom. He loves his brother, and she misses her grandkids. You know she does.
Oh yeah,
I can relate. If you guys try to take the grandkids and leave, I'm going with you. And so I'll live in your basement.
Here comes Dave.
Here comes Dave in the basement. But I mean, it's just I can. It's hard. It's hard when families have been separated by these, by this political thing. Really, I mean, the number of families that have left California and left the Twin Cities and left New York and have moved to other areas during this time is it's record-setting. It's a record migration.
Chicago,
one of the largest migrations in American history in the last 5 years. And changing the shifts in population, the shifts in voting blocks, everything. It's very interesting, and it's very, very real. But in the middle of all that is grandma doesn't get to see her kids, grandkids, and they were down the street. And that just tears your heart out, man.
It's hard.
And I appreciate his heart being sweet about that. That's important. And that can skew you, so it's good to ask in the multitude of counsel there's safety. I understand why you'd want to do it, but I wouldn't do it. That's the answer to your question. I've been doing this show for over 30 years, and some of the saddest calls I've taken are from situations that are completely preventable.
Yeah, and what's so hard is I feel like one of those, especially the ones that I'm like, oh, it's terrible, are people that call in and their spouse has passed away suddenly and they don't have life insurance. We actually took a question of a lady, and she had 3 kids, pregnant, and husband didn't have life insurance. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Or even if it was opposite, right? If a mom passed away, there's a dad with kids and trying to figure out, how am I going to afford childcare? How do I outsource some stuff that maybe she was doing? Like, and it just takes the grief and the sadness of something like a sudden death to a whole new level. Like when you have to think through, how am I going to pay my bills?
How am I going to eat next week?
Yeah, the middle of all that grief. Like it's terrible. And so life insurance is the one thing, especially as a mom with 3 little kids, that I'm like so big on for people to get because it's inexpensive. Xander is the place that Winston and I actually get all of our life insurance, and we keep re-upping it because I'm like, I just want it there. Like there's something about that safety of knowing that you have money if something suddenly happens.
And it doesn't cost much because Xander shops among a gazillion different companies. It doesn't cost much. You just have to admit that someday you're not going to be here. You got to say it out loud, and you got to say, I'm going to say I love you to my family by taking care of them and taking the time to put this stuff in place. It costs us stinking pizza.
It really is. So that is one thing to do, to say I love you to your family.
So we've used Xander for all of our family's needs for insurance for many years, including, of course, term life insurance. To get a free quote, go to 800-356-4282. That's 800-356-4282, or go to Xander.com. Mason is in Huntsville. Hi, Mason. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing today?
Great. How can we help?
Yes, sir. I just had a quick question. So I've started a business within the last year. I'm coming up on a year in business, And I'm curious if I should open a business credit card or to continue to cash flow my business. I feel like cash flowing the business is almost holding me back from my potential.
It's holding you back from going broke. That's
Well,
that's
so
your potential. The number one cause of small business failure is cash flow problems. Cash flow problems are caused by business debt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't listen. If you love your business, don't borrow into it.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
So I'm running a mobile RV repair business.
Okay. Full time, or are you working a side job too, or is this a side job?
This is a side job. I'm 20 years old. I'm in college, and I also work full time as a software engineer.
Great. Good for you. You're a hustler, man.
You got a lot going on.
Proud of you. That's good. Okay, so how much volume did you do in your business of mobile RV repair?
So in the past year to date, I've done 68,000.
Man, good for you.
In revenue. That's not profit.
Yeah, I know, but yeah. So how much of that would you call profit?
So profit, I would say probably about 20,000, give or take.
So how'd you spend 48,000 on a mobile repair? You've been buying tools and trucks?
So yes, when I started out, I was running my business out of my Tahoe, and then I purchased a company vehicle to run calls on, as well as purchasing all the tools. And a lot of the parts in this industry, unfortunately, cost a lot. So anywhere from $1,100 to $2,100 on just one singular part most of the time.
Oh, okay. So your cost of the call. I got you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How'd you learn to do this, Mason?
So I have a really big mentor back home that kind of got me into this, and overall just I've always enjoyed working with my hands. A lot of it is just pretty common sense, honestly.
No. It's it's as common as common sense, which is a guy like you. Way to go, man! I'm proud of you. So here's the deal. Here's the thing I want you to grasp. If you're looking for secret sauce in your business, his name is Mason. You're the secret sauce. No one else's brain works just like yours. What you're doing here is an anomaly. It is wonderful. You are the key to this, not more tools and trucks. Your brain works fabulously as an entrepreneur. You're doing a really, really stellar job. The only thing you've got to do is keep from getting caught up in, if I spend more, I'll make more. Not necessarily.
Okay.
So what would you buy on this credit card? Because you've got the truck and the tools.
Primarily parts. So, for example,
you want to stock parts.
Not stocking parts necessarily, because I do already have a stockpile of parts. Most of the parts I use on an everyday basis. But there's certain things that I don't carry in stock on me that will cost a few $1,000s. Like recently I had an air conditioner that was $1,900 and an awning that was $1,800, which left me with like $400 in my business account.
Okay. Two answers to that. That's a really good example. Thank you. This is very helpful. Dude, you're like 10 years ahead of yourself. I'm so proud. This is amazing. So I really want to encourage you, but I'm begging you to not use a card. Okay, so number one, I want you to start setting back a larger percentage of your profits, because now your profits should be greater than they were last year, because you're not buying a truck or tools anymore. Quit spending all your money on crap in the business and use the crap that you already own to make some money. Okay, your investment year was last year. Your profit year is this year.
Okay.
You following me?
Yes, sir.
If you don't spend it all on more tools and parts this year, so be careful with that. If you're doing that, a larger percentage of your $70,000 a year will be profit than it was last year. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're going to take some of that profit and start to build a little pile of cash for buying parts with. That's fix number one. You're going to be your own line of credit.
Okay.
Okay. Number two fix is I'm going to change my terms with these customers. Anytime a part that I'm bringing as a young 20-year-old college student to your freaking $300,000 RV, anytime I'm bringing you a part in excess of $1,000, you're advancing that.
Okay.
Let them pay for it. because they're going to pay for it anyway
Yeah,
when you
that's
bill
what I
them.
was wondering. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because recently I've only been doing 50% of
50% is fine, but if it's
$1,000.
over $1,000, I don't need you to cover my labor. I don't need a deposit on my labor. I'll risk that. But I'm going over here and picking up a $3,000 air conditioner for you, and I'm 20 years old and in college. So you need to pay for the air conditioner, dude. And the guy's going to go, well, sure.
Okay.
And just let you know, I'll listen. Here's the invoice. You just cut me a check for that, and then you use his money to go buy the air conditioner, and then and then you just charge him for the other stuff. And that's not an unreasonable thing. You don't want nickel and dime them on little stuff, but if you set a limit, anything above $2,000 or up maybe 1,500 or whatever. So that gets rid of the cash flow problem. And if you did have a cash flow issue and you want to dip into it, you can build your own line of credit with your increased profits. Don't fall into the credit card trap, Mason. You're way too bright to do that. You got way too much potential. This thing's got upside, man, and the way your brain works, you're going to be able to start something in a few years, this or something else, and go. You're going to go bananas.
That's great.
You're getting some really good business training right there. I love America. I mean,
Just an RV
I'm unemployed.
repairman.
I'm unemployed. I'm not. I'm fixing RVs out of the back of my Tahoe, and I'm 20, and I made $70,000 while you're sitting on your thumbs talking about how everything's falling apart in Trump world. Give me a break. This is an awesome country. I love the free enterprise system. God, man. As long as we got kids like that, there's hope, man. Life is good. Michael is in Palm Springs. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for taking my call. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
My wife and I are going through a bit of a financial challenge. Really need your advice, longtime listener, so I kind of have a general idea of what you guys will say already. But I lost my job in August. It was a higher-paying job, and we have a significant amount of consumer debt, about $120,000, and we're considering selling our home to get out of the consumer debt. And then also the home, we used a family friend to finance it. It's on a private note right now that is interest only. And if we were to sell the house, we would clear all of the debt and then also have about maybe $80,000 or $90,000 in a savings. So I wanted to get your advice around that.
What were you making before you lost your job?
I was bringing home about 150, and my
Doing
wife
what?
Brings home. I'm in the financial services industry.
And that was August. And this
Correct,
is
yeah.
What are you doing now?
Why are you not reemployed?
I am. I got rehired at a different firm in January, but it's a different position that makes significantly less.
What are you making now?
About 65, 70.
Why did you do that?
It was a bit of out of necessity, but because I did lose the job, I couldn't really find another higher paying position.
What were you doing?
I'm a branch manager for a retail bank.
Okay. All right. Now
I'm just a traditional banker.
Oh, I see.
So I'm no longer in management. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're going to adjust your life to your new income, then yeah, this whole deal makes sense. But I'm still wondering, once you make 150, you ought to be gravitating back that way and not be settling for 65. Maybe banking ain't your thing, because that's a big drop. I think you're worth more than you're getting paid. So, is selling the house fixes the temporary? Does it fix the permanent? That's what you got to ask. Buying or selling real estate right now is a big deal. And between all the clickbait headlines and the confusing data out there, it's tough to know what's actually going on because people try to hype it up one way or the other. The real world is this. The median house price in America today is $431,000. That means half of them are above that and half of them are below that. That's what that statistical measure means. Interesting. And inventory's up. There's more houses on the market right now, over 1 million right now, than at any time since 2019. And prices are up. And interest rates are down. They're down under 6%. So it's a good time, actually, to buy, and it's actually a good time to sell. So 15-year fixed is 5.9 right now, just to give you an idea. And so if you want to know data like that, check out the housing market trends. We help you do this with free tools. Doesn't cost you a thing. Go to RamseySolutions.com/market, or you can click the link in the show notes, and we'll show you the stuff that's going on out there for real. No hype. Josh is in Atlanta. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Same here, Dave. Same here. So about two years ago, I started my financial journey, and it was partially inspired by you. I came across one of your videos, and I was at a point in my life where I met my wife, and my family really needed me to step up. And my wife has some medical issues. She also, was touched by tragedy. She had lost a child previously, and it kind of exacerbated some issues, and, it got in the way of her job, and she was in recovery. Anyway, long story short on that note, once we got together, I was able to pull us out, and I was able to overcome and become debt-free. And
good for you.
Recently, about 8 months ago, I found out about a massive windfall that she would be receiving. It was due to a legal settlement. And for the past 8 months, I've just been on a journey where I've been dedicated to not getting this wrong. And I basically at the point now, Dave, where I had my plan. I've been doing nothing but working on it. And I'm kind of circling back to where I started because I'm at a crossroads. I have an appointment with a wealth management firm tomorrow, and I'm looking to get the money on Monday. And I have my plan in my hands. I have all the voices out there that are telling me all different types of things. And I'm just kind of bringing it back because what you did worked, and your overall life philosophy and ideals align with mine. So you don't need my money, and I just don't want to get this wrong, Dave. So I'm coming to you just to say, what do I need to know? What don't I know? Because the scary part is I think I kind of have an idea, and that's what scares me.
Okay.
Thinking that I know what to do.
How much is this?
It's going to be $4.7 million after tax.
Lump sum.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough to scare you, if you're wise, and you are wise, obviously. So a couple of basics we can cover, and you probably already know these, is the wealthy people that I know, and I know thousands of them, and I've studied them as well. Our firm does research on them. Violate the stereotypes that not wealthy people think they do. Not wealthy people think that wealthy people have some kind of trick bag, that you can do a double backflip family partnership limited bullcrap. They don't exist, okay? The secrets of the rich are this. Keep it simple. Very simple. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, don't put money in anything unless you understand it. Rule number 3, you and your wife meet with the people that are teaching you. And don't ask your wife what she thinks. Ask her how she feels.
Okay.
Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain. If Sharon has a bad feeling in a meeting, it's the last one.
Wow.
She doesn't even have to explain it. It might be he just had bad breath. I don't care. We're not going back in there. Okay? And that has saved me.
Wow, okay.
That has saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars of Dave doing stupid stuff. Okay? I'm serious.
Yes, sir.
So those are 3 very simple principles. Okay? You don't have to be fancy. You do have to understand it. And your wife and you need to have a peace about it. You've had a lot of turmoil, a lot of medical issues, a lot of drama. It's time for some peace. And the finances need to add peace, not anxiety.
Okay.
And if you feel yourself tightening up in your chest, that's God talking to you. Take a breath, walk out. Don't do it right now. If it's not adding peace, we're not doing it.
Josh, I'm curious. You said I had a plan, and now I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if it's right. All of it. I'm curious. What would you have done with this money if you hadn't called? What was the plan?
So what I came up with, and I'm going to get it wrong because I'm nervous, half because I got that meeting tomorrow, half because I'm on air, but I'll try to get this right.
No, you're good.
I was going to establish a trust. I was going to put money into the 4 types of mutual funds, growth, growth income, growth, aggressive growth, international. Little thing I came up with, Dave, on my own. And then I was going to have an emergency fund, and then I was going to look at and getting into some physical real estate. Growing up, my parents had a service industry locksmith, and they based their business off of property managers.
And you're going to pay cash?
I know a lot of property managers. I'm going to pay cash, and I'm going to start off small. I'm not going to get greedy.
I would do everything you're doing, except I don't think you need a trust.
Really?
No.
Okay.
A trust does nothing here. You don't have an estate tax problem, and trusts are mainly for estate tax problems.
Okay.
But I think everything you're doing there, assuming you can be competent in the real estate part of it, which I think you can. You were getting ready to explain that when I cut you off, but I'm with Rachel. I think that's wise. Now, the other thing is, when I hear the phrase wealth management, I get a little bit hair on the back of my neck. Okay, so I don't know what you're going into over there tomorrow. And so just keep it simple, which is what you've done so far. Don't put money in stuff you don't understand, which is what you've done so far. And if they want to change the direction of that, walk.
I see.
You're capable of doing this. This is not rocket surgery. You can do it.
Rocket surgery.
Well, it's a combination of brain surgery and rocket science, right?
Yeah, I like
it's
it.
All
That's
of it.
my
It's
style,
all very, yeah, it's very complicated.
Kind of like brain science and rocket surgery.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
That's it. I mean,
I guess the core of my question, to be specific, and I don't want to take up all your time, with her issues with being in recovery, they're kind of at a sensitive point in time. She kind of needs me for at least 24 months. And so what I'm looking at, I'm weighing the options of, can I do the work? I have a fire in my belly, Dave. I'm ready to go to work, but my family may need me. And before I was selling my time for money. I'm a federal security contractor and make about $50,000 a year. I'm no longer keeping the lights on. I'm keeping my family healthy and guiding us and orientating the ship.
Well, I mean, if this generates a 10% rate of return, you're going to have $400,000, $500,000 a year coming in.
Yeah.
Managing the family office.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I mean, if your rental properties are cash flowing to the tune of net of 10% of everything, and your mutual funds are averaging 10%, I mean, you're going to be dealing with that, which is more than you've ever made in your life.
Do you guys have kids, Josh?
Yes, we do. We're blessed with a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Okay. Yeah.
Is she emotionally capable of attending these meetings?
She is emotionally capable of attending these meetings. Our strategy's always been the same, Dave.
I'm not wanting to stress her and ask her to make all the financial sophisticated decisions. I just want her feeling on the room. I want her to feel the room. And I want you to meet with more than just the person you're meeting with tomorrow. Meet with a SmartVestor Pro, too. Get some other people in your corner. Get a second opinion. Or 6. Hey, technology has changed a lot in the last 30 years. Now the hot topic is AI, and I understand that it might seem intimidating. But if you use AI the right way, it's just another tool to help you work smarter and faster, like a calculator or a cordless drill. So if you run a business, you'd better get on board with it before you get left behind. And NetSuite by Oracle offers AI-powered tools that help small businesses improve efficiency and make smarter decisions by bringing all their major business processes into one platform. That way, there's one source of truth for the real-time data you need to take advantage of opportunities. Then you can forecast better, scale more efficiently, and streamline those manual tasks that take too long. So join the more than 41,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions, that rely on NetSuite to help tackle some of their biggest challenges. And right now, you can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's free at netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Rachel, do you ever get these sketchy text messages that are like, hey, you need to update your address and verify so we can get you the package you didn't order?
Yes, I have, George. Sketchy, and never trust them.
And that's why we recommend Delete Me. They help with that.
Yeah, they do. Delete Me actually goes in and removes your information from data broker websites, and it is an incredible service that everyone needs.
And there's a lot of shady companies out there that solely exist to sell your personal data to bad guys. And that means your info, like your email address, your home address, your kids' names, your name, everything is just out there for scammers and spammers to find.
So much.
But Delete Me will delete your data, hence the name. It's gone. They'll wipe it out for you so you can sleep easy.
That's right. And then once they remove your information, then they're going to send you a detailed report telling you where they found your information, when they removed it, how many hours they've saved you. I mean, it is incredible. It's so detailed and it's beautiful.
Get this. So far, they've reviewed 27,000 listings on my behalf, removed me from 240 data broker sites, and saved me 77 hours of time. It's incredible.
Absolutely amazing. And Winston and I now get fewer texts, weird emails, spam calls, all of it.
I love it. So you got to be sure to check them out. Ramsey fans get 20% off their annual plans. Just go to joindeleteme.com/Ramsey. That comes out to less than $9 a month. Super affordable.
Again, that's joindeleteme.com/Ramsey. Make sure to check it out, you guys.
Larry is with us in Atlanta. Hi, Larry. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I love to hear it. Well, my question today isn't really about me. It's about my parents. So both of my parents are completely debt-free. They've always been really good with their money. They have about $110,000 in savings, and they have nothing invested in their no 401k, no Roth, no nothing in their retirement, because I think it's mostly more my dad always doing the stock market. It's more of a gamble, and he fears it. And now that they're in their mid-50s, I just want them to retire at some point. And me being an only child, it's going to be kind of more burden on me when they kind of get older, because, I can't really split help between siblings and all that stuff. And, any little extra income probably on their end would help because they can't work forever. So I'm just trying to figure out how can I convince my dad to stop being scared of investing and finally get him to start doing it, and trying to convince him that it's not too late.
Is he asking?
Not. I brought it up first, and then he kind of asked me, like, why are you kind of worried about me retiring so much? I'm just like, I just want you to retire, have a good life. You see, my grandparents, they're doing well. They haven't worked in about, 10, 15 years or so. They're doing good, and I just want you to have the same thing. But right now, I'm just not really seeing it going that way.
How old are you?
I am 24.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your heart for him. What you're running into is what's called the powdered butt syndrome. Once someone has powdered your butt, they don't really want your opinion on sex or money.
Right.
And so it's very difficult for 24-year-olds to advise 55-year-old dads.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the dynamic of that relationship is very hard. It's very unusual that your dad would go, hey, Larry, tell me everything you know about investing. It just doesn't really come up that way usually. It's almost like they snicker and roll their eyes when you start talking. That would be more normal anyway. So, the only thing I can do is there's three things that have worked. One is I would pray for them and ask God to speak to them in some way or another. And two is, one of those prayers is, who could speak to your dad that he would listen to? Does he have an uncle, a brother, a friend that is your childhood friend as well, but he admires them and respects them and never powdered their butt?
Not quite. He has been kind of listening to me somewhat, but I think my approach to it, maybe because I'm still learning all this stuff.
Yeah, it might be. That's fair. But I'm saying, is there a person that's
Someone else
that's 65 that he looks up to?
Probably his parents, which would be my grandparents that I talked about.
They might have
earlier.
more. They might have more say than you would have. Matter of fact, I know they have more say than you would have.
Oh yeah. No,
if your grandpa sat down and said, "Hey, if you had parked that 100,000 in a S&P for the last 2 years, you'd have an extra 50 grand right now that you don't have." That's what it cost him in the last 2 years. It cost him $50,000 in the last 2 years.
Right.
We had a 23% year and a 26% year. 23 and 24. That's what the S&P did. If he just parked it in a simple Standard & Poor. So it cost him $50,000. So that's the other thing. Now, the third thing is you can do is don't talk to him about him. Tell him your story. This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm doing. This is what's happening when I got out of debt. This is how I feel different. I feel more hopeful than I did. And I've learned, here's what I learned about the market. I'm investing in the market, and the reason I am is I looked at it and I realized it's the track record on the stock market, even though the bad news is always on the news, the track record on the stock market is as solid as that house you and Mom live in. You didn't get a guarantee on it, and I want to own real estate and I want to own mutual funds because both of them have a long-term track record of going up, and neither one of them have a guarantee. And that's what I'm doing, Dad. But you don't have to say, and you should do it too. Don't add that. So you're changing your approach to telling your story.
Yeah. I'm curious, Larry, how do you know that they have nothing invested? Are they pretty open with you about where they are?
Oh, yeah. Growing up, my dad, he never told me not to invest in a 401k or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I've always heard him say, Mark's I was just gambling. Might as well just go to a casino. Even though I started learning about, S&P 500 and Roths, all that stuff. And he's known about it for a long time, longer because he's been alive longer than that. But he just sees that there's just no difference. And I think he started listening to me because I did buy him the book Retired Inspired, and I recently gave him 2 of my copies of Dave Ramsey's books, and he's been skimming through it. I think he's starting to open up. I'm just trying to it's just like something I'm not wording right where I think he will do it.
Well, the statement that the market is the same risk level as Vegas is an inaccurate statement mathematically.
I agree.
It's just, it's very simple. The market is more akin to single-family homes than it is Vegas.
Right.
And so it does go down more than single-family homes when it goes down. Single-family homes seldom go down, almost never.
Right.
But you don't have a guarantee on either. Mm-hmm. And when you're investing, what you're learning to invest based on is the track record. And when someone makes a statement like, oh, it's the same thing as going to Vegas, that means they just don't understand the track record of the market. And so there's some interesting, I'll tell you one to pull up and look at, and you might even just send him the link over and go, hey, I was studying this. What do you think about it? There's an interesting chart on American Funds. Go to American Funds website, and it shows what the market has done. And they have a fund called ICA, which is one of the largest and oldest funds, Investment Company of America. And you can look at that, or you can look at the S&P. It's the same. It'll do about the same thing. And you can go, okay, looking at the S&P, in the last 25 years, there's been 3 down years.
Right.
Interesting. That's way different than Vegas. That's the S&P, which is the market. We've had 3 down years on an annualized basis in the last 25 years. That's kind of shockingly stable.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So, you can pull up stuff like that on the S&P. That old ICA fund is just interesting because they've got a great illustration.
Yeah, and just have some patience, Larry. If he's been saying this your whole life, this is going to be an untangling of a mindset that he's had for 20 plus years. So just have some patience. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight.
You got a long project on your hands.
When you try to change your parents, it doesn't happen overnight. Trust me. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I knew this was coming. I knew I wasn't getting out of this call unscathed. Today's Ramsey Show question of the day is sponsored by Why Refi. When you're tired of making no progress on your defaulted private student loans, Why Refi can help you explore a fresh start with low fixed-rate financing. So it's time to stop spinning your wheels. Go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey to learn more. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. Might not be in all states.
Today's question comes from, is it Michaela in Virginia? What do you think about the recent government proposals to give a baby bonus payment to encourage couples to have kids? I'm gonna be honest, I'm not up to date on all of this stuff. But I don't think is it to encourage people to have kids, or is it like hey, here's like an assistance to like a child tax credit opposite? You know what I mean? Like I kind of see it as like a opposite of a tax credit, but it's like here's a thing.
Here's the deal. If the only reason you had a kid is because the government was going to give you money, you got issues.
If I could sing, I would sing.
And your kid's going to have issues after you had issues. So it's a bad motivation.
How much is it? Do you know?
I don't know.
I should have known.
It doesn't matter. The government needs to stay out of this crap. Having babies shouldn't be a government operation. I'm just saying. They can screw up Christmas. They don't need to screw that up. So, I mean, no, it's not. No.
I would go for like childcare stuff.
How about just everybody live your own life and you don't need the government for your own freaking life? How about you go do something with your own butt? And
I like childcare stuff.
Waiting around on the government to give me money.
I'm not waiting around.
Your life is not going to be better because of the government, ever. There's never a time where you went, oh, the government saved my bacon. No, they stole my bacon regularly. That's what they did. So
there you go.
There we go. Yeah. Kevin's in Cleveland. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So I'll keep this as brief as I can, but there's a lot to it. So basically about 10 years, my dad died. My sister moved in with my mom. He had her set up, my mom set up to where, she could live in her mid 90s without having any issues, any change of lifestyle at all with that ranch house and everything. They ended up buying a large 2-story, 5-bedroom, 4-bath house where currently they have a mortgage. My mom's savings is gone. She's got early stage dementia.
Wait, who? I'm sorry, Kevin. Who bought the house?
His sister screwed the deal up.
My mom.
Your mom, but your sister's the one kind of assisting in all of this,
causing it.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Your sister screwed it up. That's what I heard you say. Did you say that?
Would you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Sadly, but basically, neither of them would be able to afford this house on their own at any point. So my mom's monthly income is going solely towards the mortgage, and she's got early stage dementia. Her savings is gone. Been trying to get it. Me and my brother been trying to get things situated in what we think would be a better situation, but there's backlash from my sister, and I think I think my mom is convinced by her to have it. I mean, like she, I don't know.
Who has power of attorney?
I'm not sure anyone has power of attorney yet.
There's not a medical power of attorney?
Well,
I don't think she's been diagnosed with any, right?
So she was on some medication for it to kind of slow it down.
Is there a will and a healthcare power of attorney?
There is a will. There may be a healthcare, but I was thinking you meant financial.
Well, it's the same thing.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
healthcare can dictate the care, but once someone is declared incompetent due to dementia, then the power of attorney takes over and runs the estate. Who is that? Probably your sister.
I know my brother my brother's the oldest out of us, and he was the one that was talking several months ago about going and getting it, and I keep on having to remind him. Last time I was like, hey, did you get that? He's like, oh, no, it slipped my mind. Thanks for reminding me. I'm assuming it still hasn't been done, but I don't know.
There's a copy of that stuff somewhere. That's what you're saying, go get?
I get. Okay. I don't know.
It's not publicly recorded. It's the family lawyer, or your mother has it in a lockbox, or wherever the will is. That's where it is.
My understanding is he was going with my mom for him to get power of attorney.
Oh, too late. She's got early onset dementia. She can't grant it.
Oh.
If she's been diagnosed as being semi-mentally competent, she can't start signing documents.
Okay.
Has she been diagnosed as that, or is that just your suspicion?
Well, I know she's been to a doctor. I don't know whether or not she definitely has it, because I mean, you could sit there and talk to her and she'll repeat the same thing over and over again.
And you would lose if she signed over something. You would lose it in court when your sister contested it, and your sister will contest it, because what you're going to do with it immediately is sell this stupid house.
Yeah.
If you got it, but oh well. Okay, so what are we going to do?
Well, I guess that's a question. At this point, it seems like I'm the lone dog, if you will. I mean, I'm the only one that's really willing to do anything about any of this. So I think that I have to kind of look out for myself in this at this point.
What have you got in it?
Well, I guess that's my question: is what if she has to go into long-term care or anything, or if there's any debt that befall? I mean, what kind of liability do I have?
Zero, unless you sign for it.
Okay.
If you go over at the nursing home and you sign up for it, and you say I'm liable, then you're liable. But if she just goes in on her own, your children you do not inherit your debts.
Okay.
And so if this house gets foreclosed on, and your sister she probably signed on it. They probably go after her. But you're not. Let's say your mom had a credit card, okay, and it owed $50,000 on it, and she dies. You're not liable.
Okay.
The estate is, if she owns anything. When you die, what you own stands good for what you owe. Assets minus liabilities. That's the estate. But the heirs are not liable for anything.
But your sister would be if her name's on the house, if she signed.
Yeah, I mean, you're not liable. You're not liable just because you're the kid.
Are you worried, Kevin, that she's not going to have money to go into an assisted living?
She's
even?
Not.
Like, is that part of your question?
Not, yeah, that's part of my question. My whole question. Ideally, I would want. I mean, I've offered to have her live with me, my mom live with, and them sell the house and get something more of my, because it's my sister and her daughter and my mom. And that's in a gigantic house that they can't afford, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would like all that to, everybody to have money. But
does she have insurance, Kevin, like long-term care or anything?
Well, that's another thing. I don't. Apparently they do, but I couldn't get the specifics on it, and I asked probably a year ago for it, and then when I asked again, I kind of got yelled at.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And accused of some things. So,
well, I don't know that you're going to be able to affect. I don't know that you're going to be able to affect this situation, no matter how bad you want to, unless prior to her dementia episodes, she had signed a power of attorney that in the event that she became incapacitated, this person was assigned. That is a standard package with a will, usually. So if there's a will somewhere, there may be a healthcare power of attorney and a power of attorney in the event of diminished capacity. That would not be unusual. That's a fairly, like if you go to Mama Bear Legal Forms and you do a will, they're going to have those two things in the package, okay? That's a fairly standard basic will set. So if that's laying somewhere, your brother probably has great power here to help your mom.
Yep.
And put your sister where she belongs, in the street.
Oh, gosh.
And so that's where she should be, figuring this out instead of being a dadgum parasite. I can't stand parasites. Parasites in the family are awful. They're just awful. Just gross.
I get it.
So yeah, take care of your mom, buddy, if you can. But you're not liable.
Hey, you guys, health insurance costs are only moving one way, and that way isn't down. And if higher costs aren't enough, the wait times to see your doctor are longer, and it's harder than ever to get anything approved through the bureaucracy. So, if you feel like the system is working against you, try a biblically based alternative to health insurance. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours take care of over $11 billion in medical bills since 1981. CHM has also helped them stay true to their values and avoid miles of red tape. And CHM support goes far beyond meeting financial needs. They also help meet spiritual needs. Members become part of a family who will pray with them and for them when they experience a medical event. So listen, y'all, There's a better way to take care of healthcare costs. CHM programs start as low as $98 a month. So learn more today and join at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget.
2 weekends are on sale now for the Money and Marriage Getaway. You can spend 3 incredible days in Nashville with your spouse learning the tools to strengthen your connection and deepen your intimacy and more. Dr. John Deloney and our own Rachel Cruze, both of them are our own, I guess, here in November or in February. You can decide. February is over, oddly enough, the marriage weekend's oddly enough over Valentine's Day. Tickets start at only $4.95 per couple. They sell out every time. There's just a handful left for November if you want to come. It's November 6th through 8, February 12th through 14.
$7.49 a couple.
What did I say?
$4.49.
Oh, I was about to give them a discount.
Well,
Okay.
I know. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows.
Thanks.
Just
Yeah, Dave can't read.
clear
Okay.
it up.
All right,
Just clear it up.
Clear it up before we get out of this. All right. So check it out. RamseySolutions.com/getaway. Or if you're on YouTube or podcast, it's in the show notes. Christine's in Chicago. Hi, Christine. How are you?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
About 3.5 years ago, my 15-year-old daughter passed away.
Oh, my gosh.
What in the
after I
world?
lost her.
What happened?
You know, she was really struggling with mental health, and she just gave up.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Wow.
but
How
after I
did you say
lost her-
3.5 years ago?
Yeah, she died in 2022.
I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. After she passed, I let go of everything. I was evicted out of the house I was renting for 5 years. Lost everything. Just kind of gave up on everything. My ex-husband, I was staying with him for a little bit, and then I got to the point where, it's like it came to sink or swim. So I started door dashing, Grubhubbing. I was living in my car for a short time, and I have a family friend that reached out to me, and she was like, "Come to my home. I'll help you get on your feet, mental health-wise and so forth." Well, I just got a job opportunity. I just signed my offer letter. I start a job in 2 weeks. This is the first full-time job I've had since my daughter passed. I'm going to be making roughly about $64,000 a year.
Good for you.
Thank you. I'm in debt about 30, and part of that is my car loan. I have one more payment for funeral expense, and the rest is just medical bills, no credit cards. I just don't know how to get on my feet. I don't know. Do I jump into this job and go run and get an apartment? Do I pay off my car? I feel like I just don't know what I should do once I start this job.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're crawling out, kiddo.
I'm trying. I really am. It's been real hard.
I can tell.
Thank you very much.
I can tell. So how's your emotional state? Are you doing okay?
I'm a lot better. A lot better. I would say probably the last year has probably been.
So this friend giving you a safe spot. This friend giving you a safe, soft spot to land was a godsend.
Yes. Wonderful lady. Wonderful lady.
So how much longer do you stay there? Should you stay there? Is she expecting you to stay there?
With me getting this job, she's motivated me a lot. Everything from getting out of bed to showering to, finding this job that I finally got. She wants to see me in my own space, but she's not at the same time making me leave anytime soon. If that makes sense.
I would ask her what the timeline is she thinks is appropriate.
Okay.
She has been such a blessing. The last thing you want to do is overstay your welcome. Agreed?
Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely.
Okay. And so, because I don't want you thinking 3 months and her thinking 3 days.
Sure.
I want us to be aligned. And then you know what you've got to deal with. Because your first job with the new job and with the emotions and everything is to create a sustainable situation.
Definitely.
Okay. And that's food, shelter, utilities, and transportation and clothing, and that's it. The debt I'm not worried about today, other than you got to pay the car payment because you got to keep them from repoing it. What do you owe on the car?
I owe about $18,000 on it right now.
Do you want to keep it and pay it off quick?
Yeah, that was like my plan, and that's like the biggest reason why I've always I bet to be honest, I've been teeter-tottering with it being repossessed. Like, I
How
can
far
only give you
behind
200
are
this
you?
week. Right now, I'm just shy of 2 months right now behind on it.
All right.
Yeah.
Job 1's get current on the car.
Definitely. Okay.
Job 2
Okay.
is figure out housing and the timeline.
Okay. Okay.
So is the timeline
Okay.
3 weeks, 3 months, 3 days? I don't know. Let's figure that out.
Sure.
And
Okay.
and so once the car is current, then we're going to establish when we move out, and when we do move out, we're going to establish food, shelter, clothing, transportation, and utilities. If you keep all that going, this is your first step to reestablishing your life. Agreed? Foundational.
Okay.
It's foundational.
Absolutely. Okay.
Then we can worry about getting out of debt, building wealth, and being outrageously generous.
Okay. Okay.
But right now, we're worried about eating and car payments and apartment.
Christine, have you written down any numbers, done any level of kind of even a mock budget? Have you done any of that?
I really haven't.
Okay.
As weird as it sounds, is that sometimes just I have to be on a schedule. Otherwise, I can't get out of bed. I don't want to shower.
Yeah.
This job is going to be a big deal for me because giving me a routine
Structure.
and the goal to keep going.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the first steps possibly that could be a gift to you is just to sit down, and we're going to give you Every Dollar Premium, our budgeting app, is to kind of just create a mock budget. It doesn't have to be for real. The numbers that you type in don't have to be, locked in stone by any means, but just to say, okay, the apartment's around, this is kind of probably like the average rent for a 1-bedroom. Here's what I think I can find. Okay, I'm just put that down for rent. For food, how much will groceries be? And just estimate some of these things. And again, they're not real life because you're not living there right now. But once you kind of start to get these facts, Dr. John Deloney, our friend, always says, facts are your friends in especially kind of a crisis situation. And this could ground you. There's a level of anchoring of
peace
of facts that it's not driven on emotion. It's just, this is exactly the reality of my life and what I have to have. And then compare that to what you'll make after taxes, what will hit your account on that first paycheck. And all of that's going to, in the car loan, all of it, I think it'll give you another plan with your money, just like a plan and a schedule you have for your day. It's just another routine to have in your life that's really healthy, and it's really good because I think it'll ground you, and I really believe it's going to give you some confidence to see, okay, here's the reality of what's about to happen when this first paycheck hits, and here's what I'm going to do with it. And again, it may take you a month or two to kind of get caught up with everything.
Sure.
But I think that's a great first step financially.
It takes the trauma and the drama out of your brain and puts it on paper and makes it look like what it is, a non-issue.
Okay.
You're going to be okay. Mathematically, you're okay.
Okay.
You're going to be fine.
Okay.
If you just stick with this. How much is your car payment?
It's about $426?
Okay. Yeah, mathematically, you're going to be okay. If you're making $65,000, just make sure you load up the W-2 and you don't have hardly any withholding. There's no point in you having a bunch of withholding because you're not going to have hardly any taxes in Chicago.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And so I want most of this money coming home, and we're going to get the car payment current. We're going to get an apartment. We're going to buy food. We're going to buy lights. We're going to buy water, and we're going to put gas in the car. And you probably got some clothes, and and now we're set. Now we can start talking about going from here. But Rachel's right. When you put it down on paper, it looks back at you and it says to you, "You're okay."
Okay.
That's what that's what that structure does for your brain. It says you're gonna be okay.
Sure.
You're gonna be okay because I can see the budget, but I've done 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
And so I know what your budget is. I can already tell you, but that doesn't help you. When you write it down and you go, this is what an apartment, this is food, this is my $400 car payment, this is life. I can do this. Okay. This is going to work.
Christine, you're amazing.
It's going to make you smile. It's going to make you. I'm so proud of you.
You're amazing.
So proud of you.
Walking through what you've walked through, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So we are cheering you on.
Thank you so much.
Hold on the line.
We're going to put one of our. Hang on the line. We're going to put one of our Ramsey coaches at our expense. You'd not charge you a dime. We want to make sure we want to be part of your story, part of your healing story, and they're going to walk with you and show you just exactly what we're doing here. And we'll get you the Every Dollar full package and FPU and the whole dealie, whatever. We'll get you in everything. You're amazing. Wow. Tina is in Trenton, New Jersey. Hi, Tina. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay. A quick question. I am retired, sold the family home, and I've been renting for 6 years now. So my house money is in the bank. And now I have an opportunity to buy a condo, which is in the mid-200s, which will take a good part, 75% of what's in the bank. But the HOA fee and taxes are about $1,400 a month versus rent, which is around $2,000 a month. And I'm just wondering, is that worth it? Like, I'll be saving $600 a month in fees for the month, so it's $600 less than my rent, and I'm taking money out of the bank to put it into a condo.
So your total nest egg is how big?
The total nest egg of the cash, free cash?
No, everything you own.
Oh, everything I own would probably be $700 and some thousand.
Okay, and you're putting $200 into a condo, and then the question is the high HOA fees. Well, I kind of got a little sticker shock like you did listening to this, and then I look and I see you live in New Jersey, so which you got ultra high property tax there, right?
Yes.
So I don't know if this is high or not compared to other condos in the area. If you said, I mean, if you went and bought a $400,000 condo 5 blocks away, what would be the HOA fee?
Again, they would range from $500 to $1,000.
Okay, so this is unusually high.
It's about $850.
Why is it high?
Yeah. It's a condo in a resort town with great. No.
The HOA fee is for running the HOA, which would be doing repairs, maintenance, and taxes and insurance on exterior structures. Okay. If the taxes are the same as the one across town that's $500, then we don't have a tax issue. Okay. If the insurance is the same as the one across town that's $500 or $600, then we don't have an insurance issue, which tells me the thing that the HOA may be run poorly.
Okay. Then this is just the HOA. The taxes would be like $500.
The taxes are separate?
Yes, taxes are $500. HOA is like $860, correct?
Okay. Well, I want to know some history on this HOA if I'm you and figure out if it's being run poorly, because there has to be a reason that this is high.
Okay.
If I don't get a logical reason, like we just put in new parking lots and we're assessing everyone, so it's in there, that's a logical reason, and then the fee may come down later. Okay, or it may be, there may be something else going on. But if the average in the area is $800 or $900 or $1,000, and this is $1,400, they are devaluing these condos by running them poorly.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The $1,400 included the taxes. So if you back the tax out, the HOA for this condo is like $860.
So it's about the same as others in the area.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I completely misunderstood. All right, then we don't have a problem, do we?
It's comparable, and the question is, and it's less than rent. So is that a reasonable thing?
Yes, you own it.
Okay.
And I suspect it's going to go up in value, is it not?
I would hope so.
Well, I mean, is the area okay, or are you moving into a bad neighborhood?
It has potential.
You sound like someone dating someone.
It has potential. I mean, I just feel like I'm going from the safety of savings account, which in guaranteed funds, to real estate, and I'm like
buying a piece of real estate for $200,000 and having fees associated with it still around $1,400. If they're market comparable in the area, does not sound like a bad idea, as long as you're not buying in a bad neighborhood where you're going to be unsafe or where the property values are going down instead of up because of crime or something else. And so that's the only thing you've got to consider. But because $200,000 sounds like a very inexpensive condo in Trenton, New Jersey to me. Property values there are pretty high. So, but I mean, you look at that, and if you feel comfortable with the long-term implications of owning this, meaning it's going to go up in value, and the HOA fee is comparable to others, and the taxes are comparable to others, I like the idea of you owning rather than renting to stabilize your future.
Yep. Amen. Good luck, Tina.
So
you're going to be a condo living lady.
There you go. So Rachel, it's one of the things that, your most expensive line item in your budget, folks, is housing. In almost everyone's budget anyway. And if you rent, it goes up every year for the rest of your life. And so if you retire at 60 or 65 and you say, I'm going to rent until I'm 90, your most expensive line item is going up every year.
Yep.
And so what you get when you buy, even if you had a mortgage payment, a fixed rate 15-year mortgage payment, even if you had that, when you buy, you have locked in and stabilized the largest line item in your budget. So it's stabilizing your golden years is what we're doing. In her case, she's paying cash, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's even better. Way to go. And she's only got, to the maintenance issues.
Yeah,
and so,
totally.
The HOA is covering her maintenance on the exterior portions anyway.
And there's no line item there. Besides the maintenance and the HOA, but
she's got this coming out.
There's no mortgage.
The HOA fee may go up some as taxes and the insurance probably will go up some as you go along. And make sure you have your insurance reviewed every year, and that you keep the proper amount of coverage, even if it does go up a little.
Mm-hmm.
Property taxes. The politicians just can't keep their hands out of our pockets, so you can count on that. And the maintenance stuff may or may not go up or down. You can run into all kinds of stuff there. But I would rather be in an ownership position because A, it's going up in value, and B, I've stabilized that most expensive line item in the budget. And that's why we always tell people, especially when you're heading into your retirement years from 60 and above, that you really need to get into a property. You really need to get it paid off because you're locking in your future. You've got a foundational issue here in your future. It's not as much about the investment as it is the sustainability.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good.
Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Thank you for jumping in, America. John is in Salt Lake. John, I'm short on time. Go straight to your question.
Hey, so I got an infant and a toddler and a new baby, and we got about $36,000 in debt, and I make about $3,200 a year, and I have no idea.
$3,200 a month.
$32,000 a year.
$32,000 a year.
Oh, 1,000. Okay, that's helpful. Okay, good.
I don't know what to do with it. I'm just over my head with it.
What do you do? What do you do for a living?
Places. I'm a scrap iron worker.
Okay, and what do you make an hour?
So I usually make about $15, but I get some overtime too.
Okay, all right. Well, Target's paying $20.
Yeah, I've never had a birth certificate or social security number, and that's a whole other ordeal of itself.
Okay, well, that'd be something to work on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's been a long ordeal.
Yeah.
Expensive one, too.
Yeah. I think I'd work on that because it's going to help your employment options because your biggest issue is you have a very low income.
Yes.
What is the $36,000?
And I'm not picking on you. That's not a shaming thing. It's a math thing.
What's the $36,000 entail, the debt?
So we had different credit card debts, and then the majority of it is I had to take a loan from my dad for the first baby, and that was $9,000. It was a complication. We were trying to have an at-home birth, and there had to be a C-section, and so we were able to pay for that through a thing called a stork program. It was $9,000, and then we just had to borrow that from my dad. We had it paid down about $4,000 of it, and then we also had to pay for the surgeon and doctors, and then we had another baby, and there was another complication.
I'm sorry, John. It's a hard time. Dude, the answer to the equation is the things you were already working on is you get a more stabilized, more normalized life with a birth certificate, and then you're able to get more normal employment and raise your income considerably, and that's going to help a bunch, honey. And that's what you need to be working towards.
All right, Dave, you have some strong opinions.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, because you really prefer credit unions over big banks.
Well, credit unions, for one thing, are nonprofit, which means that the members, the customers, own the credit union. So any profits that the credit union makes goes back into customer pricing. So you get better interest rate on savings, cheaper checking, and so on, that kind of thing. But that's what's more important than that, though, is the fact that the customer is the owner changes the spirit on the credit union. So I find very few credit unions that aren't very customer-centric.
Well, and I think we have found one that is incredible, and that's Fairwinds. They are an incredible credit union that is really out with the heart to help the customer.
They're the right kind of people with the right kind of values. And they've done a really, really good job with customer service. And the deals that they're offering, the Ramsey Tribe, is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. The things that we teach, they so line up with. And you're right, their customer service is unbelievable. Winston and I just signed up, and we got an account.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. It took less than 5 minutes. It was so user-friendly. Like, the step-by-step approach was unbelievable. And then the next day, my phone rings, and it says Fairwinds on my phone. So I answered it and talked to someone there, and they said, yeah, they give calls to every new customer. And so, again, they just really care about your experience. And I so appreciate that. Plus, anything that you can do at a traditional branch, you can do with them at fairwinds.org or on their app. And you'll have free access to over 33,000 ATMs.
Hey, you guys know how much I hate banks in general. And so for me to do this is a big deal. Talk to our friends at Fairwinds and check out the combined checking and savings bundle that they created just for the Ramsey Tribe. You guys, it's incredible.
Yeah, you guys, it's so easy to join Fairwinds no matter where you live. So go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey. Okay, you guys, remember the 4 walls of a budget: food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. Right now, I want to focus on food because inflation is driving up the cost of groceries and we're all feeling it. But Aldi shoppers can save up to 36% on an average shopping trip, which adds up to be about $4,000 a year for a family of 4. $4,000. Aldi has what you need at prices that won't bust your budget. From bread and milk to organic produce, fresh meat, and affordable must-haves. So stop paying more and start shopping smarter at Aldi, where you'll save with the lowest prices of any national grocery store. Find a store near you today at aldi.us. That's ALDI.us.
Wendy is in Cincinnati. Hi, Wendy. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Hi, sorry. My question is, so now my husband and I, we are looking into getting a divorce, and I am trying to, he wants everything in half of everything, but I'm trying to find a way that is more fair for both of us. So back to when we got married.
How long have you been married?
10 years.
Why are you divorcing?
That's where I'm about to get to is financial infidelity. So, and just a lot beyond that. So 10 years ago, when he walked into we got married, and he was in $300,000 student loan. So we, I kind of came up with a plan to help him pay it off. It's that we basically spend nothing, and he has to make another extra $1,000 a month, so which is, picking up a weekend a month about that.
So 10 years ago, he came into the marriage with $300,000 in student loan debt. You guys teamed up and paid it off.
Sorry, I couldn't hear, but
no,
now
10 years ago, you said you got married, and he came in with $300,000 in student loan debt, and you guys teamed up and got it all paid off.
I wish the team up is the case, but that wasn't really the case. So 10 years ago, I kind of came up with a plan. So he's had to pick up another $1,000 a month, and we are going to invest in rental unit, and the rental income basically going to help pay off our expense and pay it off. So what ended up happening is he did not ended up doing any of those extra hours, which refused to pick up any shift because he said that's not his life passion. And the rental income, he ended up took it. He took it and spent it.
So what have you been making, Wendy? What do you make a year?
I make $140,000.
Okay. And you put up with this crap for 10 years.
I would put on for way too long. And the thing that now it gave me a lot of, I just try to always believe that, he just needs some more time. So I ended up working 2 jobs. I am the one that ended up picking those extra shifts to help him pay, because every time when bills need to be paid, he just say he doesn't have the money.
Yeah,
Wendy, spend excessively?
Wendy, I got really bad news, honey. I'm sorry. The law doesn't care. in Ohio, when you get a divorce, you're going to split things 50-50. Unless there's something else other than you just earned more and he was lazy. That one doesn't work. That's what the lawyer's going to tell you when you sit with them. But you need to go sit with a lawyer and find out for sure. But I think that's what you're going to hear.
Okay.
That you put up with this for too long.
For way too long.
Yeah.
For way too long.
So what do you guys actually own? Do you actually own anything? Money?
Yeah, we
Real estate?
own a rental property and also our current home.
What's it
and
worth?
Also, the rental property worth $300,000 around there. Our current home worth about $400,000.
How much debt on the $700,000 in real estate?
Yeah, so everything is paid off.
Oh, it's all paid off. Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And
you did all of this with your sweat while he sat at home, and because it wasn't his passion to work much.
Do y'all have kids, Wendy?
Yes, we have a kid, and that's what so we moved to the state where his family is. So I really don't have a support network. And when we got married, he agreed that we're only going to live here for a few years, and then we're going to move to.
You volunteered for all this, okay?
From.
You can't. You stayed put when you had the option to say no on any of this, and put it to an end earlier than you did. So it's now over. I'm sorry.
Where are you guys in the divorce process, Wendy? Have you filed?
She hadn't even talked to a lawyer yet. Have you?
We are just
at the beginning of it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but what you're going to discover is what a friend of mine who does divorce recovery figured out, and that is that divorce turns a marriage into a business transaction and a legal transaction. And the law will state that child support, maybe some alimony, maybe you'll get some alimony out of him, but I doubt it. Doesn't sound like this guy's exactly going to be coming forth with a bunch of money. Maybe you can negotiate a large, let him have the rental and you take the big house or something. You may get a little more than half in a settlement, in a settled deal, if the judge will approve it in Ohio law. I don't know Ohio law, and I'm not an attorney even if I did, so you need to talk to one. But most states don't care if the mom was a stay-at-home mom and didn't earn an income for 10 years. She gets half.
That's what I was thinking about. If it
she
was
gets
flipped,
half, and your husband's not work much while you work all the time.
Yeah,
he gets half. I mean, you tolerated it, and so I'm not saying you did something wrong. I'm glad you hung on, tried to make it work, but that's where you're stuck with, kiddo. I'm sorry. That's an ouchie.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's one of those things too. I'm like, where things start when it's starting out. All the intentions are good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to watch it just drift and drift and drift, and until a huge red flag is thrown, it ends up getting here. But that's the thing too. Is I'm like, if it was opposite, if this was a guy calling and saying his wife was home, right? Why does it make us more angry? He was lazy.
If she was at home saying it's not my passion to work much, after she had made a commitment with $300,000 worth of student loan debt to work and help get it paid off.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring down on her just like I'm going to bring down on him.
That's fair.
Nobody gets out of that one alive.
Yeah.
So that's this is someone who someone else. His mommy has taken care of him his whole life.
I was hearing
who he is. So his wife was his new mommy, and that's what happened. He's a mama's boy. And what a mess.
The only positive, Wendy, out of all of this is
he's gone.
Well, I mean, seriously, I'm like the attitude and the mood that he probably brings her down day after day.
Yeah.
And you'll be free from it, and you may make more money, Wendy, being out of this situation. So
you definitely will.
It is one of those things you just have to.
It's easier to swim without an anchor tied around you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just way easier. Yeah, you're gonna bust out, girl. It's going to be great. I'm sorry. I hate divorce.
But do get a lawyer because I
hate people in marriages, but, it's sounds like you got rid of You get a fresh start, kiddo. And with or without some rental property and with or without the details on the house. But, even if you just sell it all and pile it up in one pile and split it down the middle, you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to be all right. And you can live wherever you want to live. You don't have to live there. If you don't want to live near his family, take off. Go back where you were. Go back where you want to be. You get to decide now. And so the future is bright. There were a lot of storms in the past in the rearview mirror, but they're all in the past. Well, soon to be anyway. Ouch. You ever tried to explain this Ramsey stuff to a friend? It's kind of all-encompassing, a little bit hard to just go bleh and put it all out there, right? So we're going to help you with that. We built a Ramsey 101 playlist. I say we. I had nothing to do with it except I'm on it. But it's an easy-to-share playlist. It covers all the basics for somebody who's just getting started with this whole Ramsey thing, like what are the baby steps, or how's the debt snowball work, or how's a budget work, or how to build an emergency fund, or why do they talk about God, all this stuff. It's all on there. Click the link at the bottom of the show notes. You open Ramsey 101 playlist on YouTube, text it, DM it, send it to a group chat. Say, hey, guys, I think this might help. Don't go, you're stupid, start doing this. That won't help. Don't be condemning with it. Be nice and just go, I hope this helps you. It helped me, or I think this is funny. Give it a look, whatever. So if you're listening on the radio, we got a playlist featured at the top of our YouTube channel. So think of at least one person in your life and share it with them, and it could change everything. We appreciate it. Because, by the way, when you guys share our stuff and you click the share button, or you click the follow button or the subscribe button, all those kinds of things, it changes all the algorithm stuff, and it moves our stuff to the front of the line, and people start seeing it because of you. So thank you for sharing. And when you say nice things like 5-star reviews and stuff, kind of nice. Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, Jennifer's in Chicago. What's up, Jennifer?
Hi, Dave and Rachel. I'm just so excited to be talking to you today. I literally just found you guys 30 days ago. So
I'm
wow.
Really
excited.
Well, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. I have a question. I got served a lawsuit last night.
Ooh.
I have credit card debt that's all in collections. For context, I'm 38 years old, and I'm finally awake to my life. I've spent my adult years in and out of psychiatric hospitals, trying to, suicide due to my childhood. So now that I've unpacked that and I feel like I'm in a healthier spot, I really I want to be debt free. And listening to you guys, I feel like this is my first route.
Wow. What do you make? What's your income?
$40,000.
Good for you. Okay. Well, I'm proud of you for getting stable. That's quite a journey.
Thank you.
Well done.
It's been a journey.
Okay, how much do you owe on this particular credit card?
This one is $1,200.
And how long has it been since you paid on it?
2022.
Okay. All right. And who was the original bank?
Credit One.
Okay. All right. There's a high likelihood, almost for sure, that they have sold that debt.
They have sold it to a credit bureau or a credit agency.
A collection agency. It's a debt buyer.
Yes.
Okay. Debt buyers buy old, bad credit card debt for around a nickel on the dollar.
Okay.
And so that means they've got somewhere around $75 invested in this.
Okay.
And what they do then is they buy 8,000 of these accounts, and they badger the crap out of people and sue people until they get some money out of some of them. Most of them file bankruptcy and they get nothing. But a few people will pay it, and they end up, because they only paid a nickel on the dollar, they end up on average making some money.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not personal. This is not personal. This has nothing to do with you. You just got put on a conveyor belt in a factory.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is, okay? There's 8,000 that look just like you that they processed last night. You follow me?
Yes.
I want you to get that.
It's scarier
because,
than it is.
Yeah, I want you to get that because it's different than you owe your little brother money.
Okay.
A different set of emotions, but they're going to try to tap into the little brother money emotions when you get on the phone with them, because most of them, the function that they use to collect is being a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be jerks.
I'm afraid of.
They're going no, you can count on it. So just make a game of it.
Okay.
I'm calling a jerk. Here we go. Ready, set, go. It's not personal. He doesn't know anything about me. He has a crummy job where he abuses people verbally over the phone to try to get money. That's who you're calling. Okay.
Okay.
Just kind of have fun with it.
And
sometimes
the guy you
they even change their name. They make up funny names.
Well, and the turnover in that industry is 30 to 60 days. So the guy you're talking to will probably have a new job in 2 months anyway. So just remember that. This is
okay.
Because cleaning a septic tank is more pleasant than doing what he's doing. Okay, really. Think about it. I mean, what a horrible job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? So
absolutely.
This is what you're dealing with. And if you have these pieces of information, then it helps you. So do you have any money?
I have about $3,000 in the bank right now.
Good. Did they give you a court date when they served you?
Yes, they did.
When?
It is on the 24th.
Good. Okay. I don't care if it goes to court and they win. No big deal.
Okay.
Nothing really changes. They're still trying to collect from someone that they don't get money from. So when you get on the phone, here's a couple of pointers. Number one, this is a game. Don't let this get into your psyche, okay?
Okay.
Their job is to make you afraid or angry, because when your brain does that, you move into fight or flight mode and you lose your critical thinking skills.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job, and they're very good at it. Be ready, okay?
Okay.
One of them called from American Express when I was going broke 30 years ago and asked my wife why she would stay with a man that wouldn't pay his bills. And she called me crying and said, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, my God.
Right? This is what they do, okay?
Okay.
Bit ready. And so this is a, and by the way, that woman's name was Mrs. Savage.
Oh, stop it.
Okay. So, I mean, this is how ridiculous this world is. It's ridiculous. So this is what you're entering into. You need to know that because you got to stay above it, especially with what you've been through, okay?
Absolutely.
So this is a game, number one. Number two, they didn't pay anything for it. Number three, we're not giving them payments. Say no payments, Dave.
No payments, Dave.
No payments. My financial counselor told me I can't give you payments. I'm your counselor, and I just told you you can't. Okay?
Wonderful.
Right.
Okay.
You can bad guy off of me and tell them Dave Ramsey said it. That'll make them real happy. Okay?
I get pissed.
Yeah, and so, all right, this is just fun. Let's have some fun with it, right? And so no payments, and what we're going to do is I just came out of a mental episode where I've been fighting suicide, and I don't have any money. I think I can scrape together $300 if you will accept that as, here's the phrase, settlement in full.
Okay.
And somewhere $300 to $500 you'll get this done. And do not give them any information about you. No contact information, no new job, no
bank accounts,
no bank account information. They get no information. We're not going to give them any leverage. This is, you're playing with evil. Don't give evil a foothold. Okay?
Okay.
And so no information. It's a game. We're going to settle it for a lump sum, no payments. And lastly, do not give them any money until you get it in writing what the agreement is. Because Jim Bob ain't going to be working there in 30 days.
I'm writing all my notes down.
Okay.
And that can be via email or
email's
mail.
Fine. Has to be in writing in some way, and then you print the email out hard copy and keep it in a file for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Because you can tell these people are lying if their mouth is moving.
Okay.
All right? This is what you're dealing with. It's a different culture.
Now, I have all my credit card debt is in collections. Can I handle all
You
of
can
them
do every one of them that way if you want to.
Okay.
Or if you got a small one, just pay it, for God's sakes, and get it out of there.
How much do you have, Jennifer, in debt total?
So I had $10,000 in credit card debt. I actually hired a credit consultation company, and they got $6,000 just wiped away.
Okay, good.
So now I'm down to $4,000.
Okay. That's well, great. Then you got $3,000. So you can get this clear pretty quick. Because let me tell you, with what you've been through and with you establishing a new life of sustainability, putting this stuff in your rearview mirror as soon as possible and not keeping it, not screwing around with it for 6 months is a good idea.
Is that all the debt you have, Jennifer? Is just the credit card debt or student loans or car loans?
26 in student loans.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You'll have to circle back and pick that up too. But I want to get these, you got all these, a beehive that got poked and the bees are flying around your head.
Yes.
And they're scary and they're bothersome. So let's get rid of them. But you got to just play this game. It's a part of it, and get it in writing and no electronic access to your personal bank account. You can do a prepaid debit card with the exact amount and send them that. You can do a wire. You can do something. But no, they do not get your bank account numbers because they'll clean it out. They lie. You can tell they're lying if their mouth is moving. Can you tell I've done this for 30 years? If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck and wondering where your money's going, there's a way to fix that. It's called a plan. In our world, we call the plan a budget. And in our world, we do it on the world's best budgeting app called EveryDollar. Matter of fact, it's a full encompassing app that'll help you work all the baby steps. It's going to help you do everything, not just budget. You need to check this thing out. Our team is hosting free budget trainings this month on the free Every Dollar app. Have I mentioned that it's free? And you'll learn step-by-step how to stick to a budget using Every Dollar. There's Q&A. Sign up for free at everydollar.com/webinar. Jason is with us in Tampa. Hey, Jason, what's up?
Oh, man, I got the goat on the phone. I can't believe it.
Yes, Rachel's here.
I like you too, Rachel.
Oh, thanks, Jason. I know who you called for, though, and you got him. He's in the seat.
Man.
He's not in the seat as much anymore, but here he is.
What's up?
Gosh. So, Dave, all right, and Rachel, I've got to figure this out. My parents' home was flooded by Hurricane Helene last September. So they came to my brother and my sister and myself and said, "Hey, we're too old. We can't fix it. If one of you want it, pay the other the other two siblings a third of the value that we come up with, and we want to be done with it, or we're just going to sell it. What do y'all want to do?" Well, I was the only one that wanted it, so we came up with a value, and I paid my sister and my brother a third of the value that everyone agreed to. Well, actually, they didn't even agree because they thought what my value was too low. So I actually went and got an appraisal done just so there would be no hanky-panky. It actually came in $60,000 less than what my original assessment was, and I still agreed to pay $60,000 more than what the actual appraisal.
Why?
Because I wanted this little home because it was just a little beach house that it was just meant something to me. So I wanted it. I paid my sister and my brother the money. My parents quitclaim deeded it to me. I fixed it all up. It's back to being beautiful, just in time for hurricane season again, but it's back to being beautiful. And now all of a sudden, my sister says, "Oh, this was such an unfair deal. I can't believe we even did this. I'll never feel comfortable with it."
Oh, well.
No one ever. So what do I do? I mean, now it's causing a strain in the family, and I don't know what I did wrong. I thought I did everything right.
Well, you didn't have agreement.
That's what I thought we did. And then now all of a sudden we don't because we did, but that's what I'm like.
Well, did they, I mean, it was all verbal, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But they were bitching and moaning on the front end.
That's what I said. No one said anything.
No, they did. They said it was not enough, and so you went and got an appraisal. They were moaning.
And then my appraisal came in.
I know, but they still didn't think it was right.
Them.
They still didn't think it was right, and you did it anyway.
So what should? Yeah, what?
I would have walked.
My fault then?
Yeah, I would have walked, or I would have had them sign something.
Yeah, maybe I should have done some kind of signature on something.
Not a legally binding, but just to remind them that because their memory is bad apparently.
I thought paying $60,000 over.
No, not if they thought the amount even was 60 was not right.
Was the value lowered because of the damage at all, Jason?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
And the value was lowered because of the damage.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had a number, you put it out there, and they said that's not fair, and you said I'll show you. You went and got an appraisal, and the appraisal was $60,000 lower, so you paid them the higher number. But they also thought that number higher wasn't fair.
Well, with just the sister, everyone else.
Well, I mean, so what'd you expect? I mean, she'd already told you she was going to be unhappy.
This just came up a couple weeks ago.
No, honey, you told me in the original deal that they thought it wasn't enough. So you went and got an appraisal, and you agreed to pay the original amount that they thought wasn't enough. And when you paid it, they still thought it wasn't enough. And now she still thinks it wasn't enough. Well, that's not a shock.
And I guess she's going to have to deal with it because that's
She cashed the check, right?
I'm sorry?
She cashed the check.
You bet she did.
All right.
She sure did.
Deal's done.
Yeah, and no one lifted a finger to help me fix it up either. So
well, it wasn't their job. They didn't own it. That's your job.
Yeah, I'm like, and that was fine, but I'm like,
yeah.
I mean,
I just say, listen, you did a deal. You're like a grown adult woman. Act like it.
How old are you guys, Jason?
I'm 50, she's 45.
Oh.
And then my brother's in his 50s.
Or older than I was
he's
thinking.
55.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're all older adults. And
well, I think she told you on the front end she was going to be unhappy, and you just didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And then now she's coming through. Now she's coming through with her promise, but that's okay. I mean, she cashed the check, and I just look at her and go, "Hey, baby, good luck with that."
That's kind of what I've done so far. But
well, I mean, anything you can do, you can't make people behave.
Yeah.
Even if they're in your DNA line,
I guess,
Have you guys sat down and had any level of conversation in person about this?
Well, originally when we first, but
Okay.
not since the last thing or this that I'm talking about. We talked on the phone about something else, and then this just was brought up, and I'm like, where did that come from? That would have been valuable information.
If there's any level of you that wants to save the relationship, I would have a conversation in person. Take all your defensiveness about this. Swallow a humble pill for a little bit. Let her kind of get out what she needs to get out and just say, okay, how do we move forward? Because I don't want to lose a relationship with my sister, right? It's family. And for a house to do this, that's not that for the future. But again.
And there's that part where you cash the check.
Put the olive branch out. And if she won't accept it, then that's her choice at that point, right? But I would go in.
I'm never going to be okay. Well, that's
very
you talk
humble.
to your therapist,
Very humble, though. You have a big personality,
Yeah.
Jason. We heard it from the moment you got on. I love it. I think it's wonderful. But maybe just take a little bit of a chill as you go in, right? Go in not defensive, not aggressive.
Go watch Jefferson Fisher videos.
And but honestly, if you really want to repair it, there's something there. And then beyond that, you've tried.
You can't control it.
Yeah, you can't control her then. But
you probably don't. I think you need to follow Rachel's advice, not mine. Mine's just smart aleck.
I
Dave's
know that's
feisty.
the problem. I'm like you, Dave.
I know.
Y'all
I think
both
Rachel's
need to
right
listen
and
to
I'm
me.
wrong. I think Rachel's right and I'm wrong, really.
Oh man! All right, Rachel, can you call my sister for me?
Yes,
No,
I will.
No.
Hey, by the way, that Jefferson Fisher episode was next to the Trump episode. Was two of my favorite.
Yeah,
episodes.
he's really
good.
He's really good. I wasn't kidding. I probably would go watch some of that because that's the type of stuff Rachel's talking about, rather than doing Dave thing and just smacking her sideways.
Oh my!
Because that's not going to work. Because that's all I'm saying. I'm just being a smart.
Wait, what are the other siblings?
I'm just being a smart
I know,
uncle.
Jason. What's your other siblings? Would you say brother?
Yeah, he's okay. He hasn't had any issues.
Okay, so it's you three.
Yeah, just three of us. So
Yeah.
brother's fine, sisters.
I know. I just hate when
sideways about it.
assets, money, all of that gets in between family. We hear it a lot on this show, and it's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah.
So if you want it repaired, or maybe she's crazy, and you're like, I don't know, I got to put up a boundary. I don't know. I don't know her, but if you want to repair the relationship, that's what I would do.
You want to give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
I think Rachel's right. I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Good. Whew.
Man.
My way's more fun, though. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 21:20. Precious treasure and oil are in a wise man's dwelling, but a foolish man devours all. That's the Bible saying if you spend everything you make, you're a fool. Hello. Think about it. Michael Douglas said, a fool and his money are lucky to get together in the first place. Gary's in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Gary, what's up?
Hey, gang. Thanks for taking my call. So I retired about a year and a half ago. I'm 69, and I've got my assets, no debt, and I'm just wondering if what I have everything invested in is if I'm doing the right thing. My house is worth about $700. It'll be paid off by the end of the year.
Good.
I'm holding off on social when I turn 70 in January, and with my wife taking advantage of the spousal benefits. So I'm estimating that we'll have about $80,000 a year in Social Security, and the remaining is $2.1 million in 3 IRAs and another account that's cash and some stock.
What are they in IRAs and all invested in? Mutual funds?
Yes. 3 different mutual funds. They're about $1.7 million, and then the cash and stock is about $430. Of that, about $80,000 is in 4 or 5 different stocks, and about $300,000 or so in a money market, which is currently drawing around 4%.
Okay. All right. And
The
your,
other thing
your,
is,
your question's what then? You've done really well. Congratulations.
am I could I be doing better than what I'm doing as far as what I'm invested in?
Well, I mean, I'm 64. All of mine is in mutual funds and paid for real estate. And so, we put it in 4 types of mutual funds. You've heard that: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. I don't play single stocks just because I don't like the risk associated with them. I'd rather have that money diversified in mutual funds. But it's not the end of the world. It's a small percentage of your world. And you've done extremely well. And it sounds like you're maybe a little heavy in cash, unless you got something you're wanting to do with that. Are you getting ready to buy a car or go on a trip or something?
No, not particular. No.
Okay. I mean, you don't need a $300,000 emergency fund.
Yeah. Also, when I start getting our social in January, based upon our expenses, I'm hoping to maybe save about $2,000 a month out of that.
Yeah.
So
that'd be great. Well, and be sure you're being, enjoying this and that your generosity goes up, because you're a multimillionaire. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm already starting to plan a couple of trips, like over to Europe and stuff.
Good. Yeah, I mean, you've earned it. Well done. And I assume you guys did not inherit this money. It sounds like it's 401ks, like you saved it, right?
Yeah, right.
So you're not an inherited. You're a baby step millionaire, meaning you did it following.
Well,
the
my mom did pass away about almost 5 years ago, and my sister and I finally sold our house plus the assets. I think I ended up getting over the last 5 years.
You cut out getting how much? Did I lose you? Oh no. Well, okay. You're in good shape, dude. You've done a good job, and you're fine. If you want to fine tune it a little bit and get a little bit more dialed in with it, that's fine. It sounds like you are not a millionaire that you already were, probably before your mom passed. And so you've just added to your wealth, whatever that amount was that cut out.
Yeah, and his question, I think, was, is there anything different he needs to be doing? Because when you retire and you start living off of some of these investments, is there a big shift in the strategy of it?
A lot of the wealth, a lot of the financial planning community believes in a theory I don't believe in, called the asset allocation methodology, which is you move everything towards bonds and money markets as you get older. And I don't. The bond market's as volatile as the stock market and underperforms the stock market. So I'm 64. I'm not moving a thing. And so I'm just, when you're 64, if you're healthy, you are statistically likely to make it to 90, where the average death age is 76 to 78, male, female, right now. But you're statistically likely to make it to 90 if you're healthy at 65. So you've still got 30 freaking years to outpace inflation. And when you dumb down your portfolio in the name of safety, inflation is going to come back and tag you in the back of the head. So I don't need the money. He doesn't need the money. He's going to be living off the social.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And so that money's just going to be.
Is that pretty average? 80 grand?
That's heavy. Well, it's he and his wife, and they're both 70.
They're doing their 70. Yeah.
They're doing the long term.
Yeah.
So that's the that could be. I don't do that. I'm going to ride it all the way out, because here's the thing: if you've got $2.1 million and you're living off $80,000 a year worth of social, you're not really investing this money for you. You're not going to use it. It's laying there, but it's going to be an inheritance.
Yeah.
So you're investing it for the next generation, which means you would not shift it and dumb it down in the name of the asset allocation model or theory. And people act like that's a given and it's a law or something. It's not. It's a theory, and I think it's a bad one. So I don't use it. I am investing all the way through, and he doesn't need to use it. He's fine. He's in good shape. Diane's in Atlanta. Hi, Diane. How can we help?
Hey, guys. So excited. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. What's up?
I'm in the middle of cooking dinner for 2 hungry boys, and you may hear them in the background, and I apologize for that. So I really wanted to call because, just in a nutshell, I am a nurse. I went to school. I have my bachelor's of science in nursing. I am not working right now. I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband is a physician and makes good money.
What's good money?
$540.
Oh, that's good money. Okay, I'm with you. All right. So I'm a little short on time. Ask your question right quick.
Okay. So our oldest has special needs. He has level 3 autism. He's nonverbal. He's 7 years old now. So it's really hard to look far into the future. But the way his development is moving, he'll be with us. He's going to be our roommate forever. So, I just don't know how much we need to be saving for him. Like
You
when
don't.
he was 2,
You don't. You need to save for you. You need to build wealth, and you need to have in your estate plan a special needs trust that if you and your husband both pass away, that a chunk of money, an inordinate chunk of money, is left in trust, the income of which invested in mutual funds, the income of which will support him for the rest of his life.
Okay.
But it's your money, it's not his. You don't put money in his name.
No, I don't have any. Oh, in his name.
You
Yeah,
put it in
his
your
child's
name.
No.
You make $540,000 a year, you go build wealth, and some of your wealth is earmarked upon both of your deaths to go into the special needs trust to take care of him.
Okay. So, so as far as debt and what we make and all that, just
you got to work the normal stuff. Just work the debt snowball, get out of debt, get your house paid off, go become a multimillionaire making $500,000 freaking dollars a year.
How much debt do you guys have?
We don't have any student loans.
Good.
We have probably $70,000 in cars.
Well, that was stupid.
Yeah, it was very stupid.
Let's get it paid off.
So I kind of got my car as a push present, if you will, in 2021, and then my husband was
okay,
like,
poof,
I want
pay it
one
off.
too.
Push.
Yeah.
Poof it off. Come on. You've got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. All right. No, that's no. You need to get this mess cleaned up, okay? And you guys need to get on the baby steps and work just because you need to. The special needs thing is almost a sidebar in the sense of it gives you yet one more motivation to build wealth and get your act together to make sure you have enough to leave in there. If you're broke and have no money right now, you need life insurance earmarked for the special needs trust until you get some wealth built. But with the kind of money y'all make, you get rid of the stupid car payments and start stacking cash and building you some investments, get your house paid off. There'll be plenty of money to take care of your kid. And just see your estate planner and make sure there's a special needs trust set up, earmarked with term life insurance until you have some money. And after you have some money, earmark some of the money into that to take care of him. And he'll be fine. Assuming you guys get your act together, he'll be fine. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, you guys, I was shocked to learn that 88% of you out there are sharing The Ramsey Show. I mean, that is so incredible. Thank you so much. And I want to tell you that we're making it even easier to share. So this June, we have pulled together the brand new Ramsey 101 YouTube playlist, a quick start collection of how to get started walking the Ramsey plan. Now, this playlist is perfect for that one person in your life who needs help winning with money and just doesn't know where to start. So here's what's inside: what the baby steps are and why they actually work, how the debt snowball helps you pay off debt fast, and how to build wealth and invest for the future, and so much more. So here's what you need to do. Click the link at the top of the show notes. It'll take you straight to the YouTube playlist. Copy it, text it, send it in a group chat. Just say, hey, I thought this might help. Because one playlist shared at the right time could be the turning point. One share, one playlist, one step could change everything for that one person in your life. So click the link, share The Ramsey Show, and let's help someone out there start winning with money.